Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hulbert Arena on the campus of Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology tonight in the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference. The Earlham Quakers pay a visit. They come into tonight's contest at 1-8 overall. They're 0-3 in the HCAC. Rose-Hulman undefeated in conference play. They are 3-0, 5-3 overall. HCAC basketball brought to you tonight by Reynolds Farm Equipment, your local hometown John dealer since 1955 with 5 central Indiana locations. Reynolds meets all your equipment, parts, and service needs. Boilermaker Local 374, representing skilled workers across Indiana. Discover the Boilermaker advantage with Local 374. Bertner Electric, spark with confidence, your trusted electrician partners since 1986. Wheeler Mission, helping our neighbors in need since 1893, thanks to generous, caring individuals like you. Morales Group Staffing, building better futures one story at a time. Let us help you find your next opportunity. LifeWise Academy. LifeWise Academy brings Bible education to public school students during school hours. Learn more at lifewise.org. LIUNA, the Build America Union, 500,000 strong, fighting for better wages, safer job sites, and greater opportunities. And the IndianaSRN sports page. From the court to the field, IndianaSRN brings it home daily. From coast to coast, border to border, the IndianaSRN sports page. 3 games already complete today in the HCAC. This means tonight even more important for this Rose-Hulman team, because if they win tonight, they'll be in sole possession of first place in the conference. So it kind of gives you an idea of how important this game is.
Absolutely. Transylvania lost earlier in an HCAC matchup. They're now down to 3-1. Rose-Hulman holding on to a 3-0 spot. This is a big conference matchup. They win this, they're very much they're very much ahead in the HCAC, along with Hanover getting a win. They're up to 3-1 against Anderson, who is now 2-2. So a lot of key matchups here this afternoon and evening in the HCAC.
Well, Luke, let's take a look at this Earlham team, and there's no doubt about it, they're struggling this year. 1-8 on the season. They have not played well on the road this year either. Only 1-4. They're coming off that most recent loss to Mount St. Joseph. Got down big in the first half, were not able to recover, did not shoot particularly well, but the numbers kind of played out. They haven't been a good shooting team all season long. No,
they've been struggling from behind the arc. They're shooting about 31% from behind the arc, as well as about a 43% from just general field goal range. Right now they need to step it up, especially with their turnovers. You mentioned earlier to me, we were talking, they have about 11.3, 11.4 turnovers a game, and whenever you are 1-8 on the season, then you really need to clean up your act, get a lot of solid possessions down, and not lose the ball as much.
Well, the other aspect, too, when you look at their roster, they are not very big. And tonight they're going to face a team that has size. I'm not sure how they're going to counter that, because you're talking about 6'9", a couple of guys that are 6'7". But, again, you look at them down the line, if they don't have that kind of size. I'm curious what they're going to try to do defensively to stop Rose-Hulman inside.
Yeah, I was looking at it earlier. I mean, Rose-Hulman's averaging about 2.9 blocks per game. I have a hunch that that's going to go up a little bit this game.
Yeah.
Earlham, on the other hand, is averaging about 1.7. They're going to really have to get gritty in the baseline and on the paint to try and shut down this Rose-Hulman team that's shooting a decent split from the field goal range. They're at about 48% from just general field goal range. But what's really going to come into play is Rose-Hulman's three-point percentage. They're 33%. They're going to have to really step that up, and I think a big key for this game is going to be getting a lead while they're still early in the game, because you look at the point differential in these games that Rose-Hulman has been winning. They're 5-3 on the season, but they're only winning by an average of 0.3 points per game.
Right.
Only 2 more points total in all the games that they've played that they've been ahead. So a big key for this game is going to be getting that lead early and then getting consistent defensive stops on this shorter team that they should have a big advantage here with.
Talk about some of the Quaker players to watch tonight. They have 2 players that are scoring in double figures. They're not particularly a deep team, but talk about key players tonight.
Well, you look at Tommy Reddick for Earlham. He's been their three-point guru right now. He's shooting 40% from 3. He's 8 for 20 on the season. But then you look at another player in Connor Smith. He's shot the second most threes on the team. He's only 18 for 50, 36%. If he can get a little bit more consistent on those 3 balls that he is very comfortable shooting, he'll be able to be a dominant force in this team.
Yeah, they're going to have to find some guys to hit from the outside. As we mentioned, only 43% overall, 32% from three-point range. Rebounding is also a big key. You talked about that a little bit ago, too. They're down by 6 in the rebounding category, and when you're giving up about 39 rebounds per game, that's a big difference, especially when you're playing a team like Rose-Hulman, who really is a very good rebounding team.
Absolutely. This Rose-Hulman team, they've got, I mean, you look at their lineup, they've got players at 6'6", they've got players 6'7", all the way up to about 6'8", I believe, 6'9", excuse me, in Cole Pride, the freshman. They definitely have the height advantage, which is why I really believe that this Earlham team is going to have to space the ball out a little bit. They're not going to find as many opportunities in the paint. They're going to have to swing the ball a lot, find the open man, and take the best shots possible.
All right, when we come back, we'll talk about the Fighting Engineers. As we mentioned moments ago, they have a great opportunity to sit on top of the HCAC all by themselves. We'll talk about the Fighting Engineers next here on HCAC.tv. Back here at Hulbert Arena. Big matchup here tonight. We mentioned 3 games already complete in the conference, and we'll check that out here in a little bit in the HCAC report. Rose-Hulman is playing well, and I think you would agree they've played a very good schedule so far this season. The last time I had a chance to watch them play, they played Washington University, which was ranked number 5 at the time in the country. They go to Anderson, and they beat the Ravens, the defending champions, in the HCAC. They are as balanced of a team as I've seen in the last few years. You have to be very pleased with what you've kind of seen in the first 8 games.
Absolutely. I mean, in just the last month, they really kept their energy going. They're 3-1 in December. Like you said, they lost to Washington, but that's a good team.
Yeah.
If you're going to lose to any team, number 5 in the conference isn't too bad. And that was a 13-point loss, so obviously there's a lot of room to learn there. And if you can take that into the next games, which it looks like they have, I mean, after that they beat Anderson. They've got this game coming up, and then they play DePaul, which is a
non-conference game.
That's a non-conference game, but another big game. Obviously, DePaul is going to be a good fight there. But losing to Anderson to Washington can sometimes be a blessing in disguise whenever you find out what your flaws are, and being able to build off them is just going to make you a better team and a better unit.
Well, they are a team that is deep. They've got guys that come off the bench, which I've been impressed by, that give them instant offense. And we have seen that already this year. A couple of the starters don't have a great game, and Joey Schmitz, who leads the team in scoring, has had a couple of those games where the shooting hasn't been there, but they've had other guys pick up. Talk about, from a standpoint, not only the starters, but these guys coming off the bench and what makes them so effective.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you look at their team's minutes as a whole. You've got the top 3 players. You've got Joey Schmitz, the leading scorer, kind of like the golden boy of this team. He can't do anything wrong. He's leading the team in rebounds, leading the team in scoring. He's a great defender. You've got Cole Pride, second most in minutes. He's a really solid three-point shooter. Daniel Savovich, who's just a solid player all around. But then you get into this next group of people, and you have about 5 or 6 players that all have about the same amount of minutes.
Yeah.
And you just see how deep this team truly gets. And whenever they need something, they see something that they can switch on. The coach wants to improve on something. He has 3 or 4 players he can go into this deep bench and throw them in and change up how the lineup looks, find out what they've been missing, and improve on that.
And one thing that impresses me about those guys coming off the bench is they're all young. You generally don't see too many freshmen, even at the Division III level. If they're coming off the bench, it'll give you those kind of minutes. But these guys have done that. You talk about Evan Gentili, who's averaging nearly 7 per game. Will McElhaney's another guy who's a 6.5 points, nearly 5 rebounds per game. It's just nice to know you have that confidence in those guys.
Absolutely. I mean, Rose-Hulman only has 2 seniors on this team, and Kobe Stoudemire and Jack Murphy. And the rest of the team still very young. I'm sure this Rose-Hulman squad is looking to hold on to this young core, as they're off to a great start in the season, and that can only be improved on, especially when you have such young, malleable players. And the coach is going to try and see what they can get the best out of each player and improve on that each season. And yet, like you said, just having such a young squad is so impressive for a solid 5-3 start, especially in these conference games where you're 3-0, and those are the most high-intensity, strongest matchups you're going to get. These young players have really showed out in.
Yeah, no doubt about it. One other thing I want to talk about, paint points. Almost turned it backwards. You look at the last game, 46 points against Anderson in the paint. That's almost unheard of, but that's really the kind of the bread and butter of this team, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, whenever you've got this height, you've got Cole Pride, a forward, 6'9". You've got a good handful of kids that are 6'5", 6'6". You're going to want to use them, and what they're going to be best at is in the paint. Taking it a little bit old school, trying to get most of your points in the paint isn't such a bad idea, especially when you still can shoot a decent split from 3. Whenever you're a good team, you're looking to get about 35, 36% from 3. Rose-Hulman, a little bit less than that. They're at a 32, 33, but they don't necessarily need that whenever they have this height. And it's such a wide variety of players coming off the bench that are all able to score in the paint so consistently.
No doubt about it. By the way, the other finals today, Bluffton finally gets a win in the conference. They beat Berea 85-72. Manchester, who we saw here, really didn't play that great, but they were home today against Transylvania. They win that one 80-71. And how about Hanover beating Anderson 83-69? So that kind of gives you an idea. That top of the conference right now starting to get very jumbled up.
Oh, absolutely. And Anderson's looking to get a couple of these back. They're 2-2 now in the conference from the loss you mentioned today, and also to our Rose-Hulman squad.
Yeah, at home too. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. The tip-off starting lineups next here on RHIT.TV. We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
And now, fans, at this time, let's meet the starting lineup first for the visiting Earlham College Quakers. Number 4, Tommy Reddick. Number 8, Noah Gaddings. Number 9, Bud Davis. Number 11, Connor Smith. And number 23, Patrick Hardiman. The Quakers are led by head coach Isaiah Cavallo and assistant coaches Jim Manning and Austin Abbott. And now, fans, let's meet the starting lineup for your Rose Holman Fighting Engineers. At guard, the 5'9" senior from Jeffersonville, Indiana, number 2, Kobe Studemeyer. At guard, the 6'1" junior from Everett, Washington, number 10, Daniel Zabovich. At guard, the 6'6" junior from Lula, Georgia, number 11, Christian Torres. At guard, the 6'2" sophomore from Parkersville, Indiana, number 15, Joey Schmidt. And at forward, the 6'9" junior from Alaska, Indiana, number 23, Cole Pratt.
All right, there are your starting lineups. All right, time for keys to the game. What does Earlham got to do to pull off an upset?
Earlham's got to really protect the paint because, like we mentioned earlier, Rose Holman loves to get in the nitty-gritty. They've got that youth. They can bang around a little bit. They can just ice their knees after the game and be fine. They've got the height. They've got the youth. They've got the depth. A big thing for Earlham is going to be defending the paint and then spacing out the offense, really getting good looks everywhere. Mostly at the three-point line, though. They've got a lot of guys who love to shoot the ball, and those shots have got to hit if they're going to want to win this game.
Okay, I'll tell you what, we're going to keep an eye on that because my knees wouldn't be able to do that, just in case you're wondering. Cole Pride in the middle at 6'9". We mentioned his size differential. Jumping things up, Patrick Hardiman for the Quakers. And this is a game where Rose Holman, if they win, they will go to 4-0 in the conference, and they win the tip.
Yeah, you can already see Rose Holman looking to get into the paint. And
easy enough. First bucket of the game, Christian Torres, 2-0. Well, already 2 points in the paint here early. We mentioned earlier they came off 46. His that three is on the way and missed. Connor Smith. And here come the Fighting Engineers quickly, Studemeyer. Now keep an eye on Cole Pride because he can shoot the three. Savovich back to Pride. Here's Schmitz. Nice job, crossover. Ooh. Block shot underneath. Good job that time by Reddick.
If they can get more looks like that with a good block there, Earlham will be a little bit more comfortable. And like we've already seen what I said, where Earlham's trying to get these three balls going. So far 0 for 2, but if they can get consistent there, they can make this a real ball game.
Well, that was Hardiman who missed the last one, so a cold start here for the Quakers. Studemeyer, three-pointer on the way, no good.
It's a good look there, though. If they keep pressuring the paint, then those wide open, or not wide open, but those looks from outside of the arc are going to be a little bit more open for their shooters they have spaced around there.
Quakers have 15 on the shot clock. Oh, and that's a turnover right there. Indecision by Gathings. Noah Gathings, turnover number 1.
Gathings tried to get a little sneaky move there off the rear end of the defender, but almost got it. I was a little impressed by the creativity there.
The Quakers continue to be shut out here. Good look at Joey Schmidt's averaging nearly 17 per game. It'll be Savovich away from the double team. In the corner, Schmidt's for three, in and out.
It's good extra pass, though. Always finding that open man's going to be huge for them if they can keep their three-point shooting up. This is probably the game they're going to try and get that percentage up because they'll probably have more open looks there.
Quakers now with 2 turnovers. They look inside to Cole Pride, who has a huge size advantage over Connor Smith.
Oh, yeah, that's a big man.
Savovich for three, no good. I thought the cold weather left already. It must be cold in here, huh?
They just need to warm up a little bit. I saw a couple guys in some tank tops pregame. That's no way to warm up.
No kidding. Tied at 2. After the Quakers finally get on the board. Bud Davis averaging 16 per game, getting his first 2. This is Pride. Inside to Torres, and it's trapped between the rim and the backboard.
That's an awkward angle for that. Normally you see it from the top down getting stuck, but from underneath, I don't know if I've seen that one before. You can already see that defensive aggression in the paint that Earlham's going to have to utilize if they're going to try and keep this a good contest, because they don't have the height advantage. You can already see Patrick Hardiman really getting aggressive with Cole Pride there, because that is a mismatch.
Quakers have 12 on the shot clock. That's Reddick. Off the screen, and the kick by Davis. The three on the way is good. That'll be Connor Smith.
Smith missed one earlier, but it looks like Coach gave him the green light today because that was not open, but a great shot there as he lasered that one in.
Pride able to pass out of the double team. Studemeyer deep in the corner, spins off the glass, good.
Nice move. Connor Smith tried to sell that one a little bit with that bit of I wouldn't want to say flop, but he's trying to sell that action because he doesn't have the size advantage there. Doesn't work out for him.
Another three on the way, no good. Smith, but another offensive rebound here for the Quakers.
I'm impressed by the Quakers' offensive rebounding so far. They've been really aggressive down in the paint, even though they don't have that advantage there.
Shot clock at 7. They'll have to hurry. The step back, the three on the way, good. How about the shot by Gathings? So an 8-4 lead now for Earlham. Pride, turnaround shot on the baseline. They are cold early.
So far the Quakers are trying to live and die by the three. Mostly live, but we'll see how the rest of the game plays out so far. But they've shot about 5 or 6 three-pointers so far.
Bud Davis for three, no good. And they're going to get another offensive rebound.
I don't know if it's the ball falling the right way or just a different mindset than Rose-Hulman has, but things are going their way in the offense, especially in the paint.
9 on the shot clock and counting. Baseline drive by Davis, and he throws it off the leg of Savovich. And we've got a meeting at timeout. We'll have changes for both teams. 14:53 to go in the first half. 8-4 Quakers.
Rose allowed me to have a good foundation as an engineer. Like, you enjoy solving those problems. There are 500 different directions that we could go, and only one is likely the right one that's going to work. Figuring out why it works or why it could work, what could break, like really thinking 5 steps ahead. That's what Rose teaches you to do. It's not a factory of like just trying to get people out the door and getting them their degrees. Like, they genuinely care about each individual student. They want you to walk away feeling like you got out of it what you wanted. That's what sets Rose-Hulman apart. Together, we are Rose-Hulman.
College basketball brought to you tonight by Reynolds Farm Equipment, the leading equipment dealer serving farmers, homeowners, landscapers, and commercial contractors in Indiana. Give them a call, 317-849-0810. Quakers kind of surprising everybody. Here's that last play we saw moments ago on that drive by Studemeyer.
Yeah, Studemeyer really taking advantage of Earlham's kind of hesitancy to allow any shot in the paint. They're going to try and sell any foul that they can. And great footwork there, able to get the shot up and in.
By the way, Travis McAboo in. He's one of the only 4 players returning from a year ago. Of the 17 players on the roster, only 4 back. 3rd turnover now by Earlham.
Big steal there. More of a loss than a steal by Earlham. And able to capitalize on it.
Savovich. 8-6 score. By the way, Will McElhaney in the ball game now for Rose-Hulman. Drive, baseline, good. Bud Davis.
Rose-Hulman's going to definitely be looking to cause more turnovers this game, especially in the paint. If they can, get a hand on a couple balls, they'll be able to turn this game around pretty quickly. I feel like the fast break by Rose-Hulman is going to be a big factor.
How about that 3? Tommy Reddick. And they are now starting to heat up at a 7-point lead for Earlham.
If the 3 ball is going to fall for Earlham, then it's going to be a long night for Rose-Hulman as they need to wake up a little bit on both defense and offense. Like you said, there might be a little bit of a draft here because they're a bit cold.
Gentili in the ball game as Evan is fouled on his way to the basket. Let's see if they'll give him 2. They'll say it's on the floor. Foul against Tommy Reddick, his first. Well, I'm pretty sure if most fans are watching this game, they're a little surprised.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's still the first half and early in the first half at that, but Earlham's 3 ball's been falling. They're shooting about, 50-60% so far, which is phenomenal for them because you're trying to live by the 3-pointer.
In the corner, 3 on the way, no good by Savovich, and Gentili with a rebound. Gentili, the drive in the lane, pull-up shot on the way, good.
Great footwork there by Gentili, able to stop on a dime and get the nice floater up and in.
He's one of those players we talked about, he along with McElhaney, that have been such a nice, pleasant surprise for Rose-Hulman. Quakers with 13 on the shot clock. Wild throwing up that shot and off balance. Wemba McAdandoo as he can't get it to go. 13-8 your score.
Wasn't the best look, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Earlham trying to get a lot of foul calls in the paint because that's where their best bet is going to be if they're going to try and get this Rose-Hulman team into foul trouble.
Will McElhaney with the bucket, and he'll go to the line.
McElhaney just has such a big size advantage against some of these kids in the paint here. And it's working out to his advantage right now as he's about to shoot 2.
Should mention, too, that B.J. Wesley has checked in for Rose-Hulman. As you had a chance to see that bucket there by McElhaney, averaging 6.5 per game. By the way, we were talking with his mom and dad before the contest. Mom doesn't like it that we don't, well, not us, but specifically don't call him William. Dad likes Will, and Will is Will, so we're going to call him Will.
Will be called Will.
Yes. Lead down to 2. 3 on the way, no good. In the ball game for the Quakers is Jake Colby. He wears number 15.
So far, very fast-paced offense by Earlham right here. They're trying to get the best shot available, and if that comes in the first 5 seconds of the possession, then they're going to take it because they can't really stand to wait around and try and hope that something gets open. They got to find it, and they got to fire. And so far, they've been doing just that, and they've got a 2-point lead.
Jack Sullivan for the Quakers picks up his first, and Will McElhaney at the line. It's already paying dividends off the bench as McElhaney has 4. Patrick Hardiman back in now for the Quakers. And a chance now for the Engineers to tie this one at 13, and they will.
I have a feeling we're going to see McElhaney at the line a lot here, because he is a good couple inch taller than a couple of these guys here in the paint, and he is not afraid to take some contact if he's going to get the shot up.
Quakers running down that shot clock once again. It's at 8. The spin there by Sullivan. Here is Davis. Jump shot good.
Beautiful shot over a defender there. And if they're going to find any mid-ranges where they can get the dribble, pick it up on a dime and pull it, they're going to take it, because it's going to be difficult to get within 10 feet of the basket here on this Rose-Hulman team.
TV timeout, 15-13, Quakers here at RHIT.TV.
At Rose-Hulman, our goal is to give our students the world's best STEM education in an environment of individual attention and support, all while achieving over 98% job placement after graduation. Your first year at Rose is all about building community. During your time at Rose, you'll be collaborating with other students in a diverse array of clubs, intramurals, and out in the community. You might be in the 40% of students that play a sport, or the third that are involved in fraternities and sororities. Over 90% of all Rose-Hulman students have at least one internship, co-op or research opportunity, or study abroad by the start of their senior year. Your degree in STEM means you won't be stuck on one path, though. STEM is all about creative problem solving, and Rose-Hulman is a place where creative minds thrive. The skills you learn here will help you reach your career goals and will grow with you as a person for the rest of your life.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Beatty Insurance, a company which understands your industry and what's on the line for you. Give Lance a call, 812-522-5640, and by Boilermaker Local 374. They represent highly skilled and highly motivated workers in field construction and metal fabrication in Indiana. Whether it's a new build, upgrade, or facility maintenance, you can count on Local 374 to get the job done right the first time. Quakers hanging right in there, have a 2-point lead. Second TV timeout is in the books. It'll be Rose-Hulman inbounding. In the corner, Gentili for 3, no.
Not able to fall, but if I'm Rose-Hulman here, I'm trying to slow down the pace and try and get like a couple back downs in the paint. Just try and force your way to some points. It looks like the Quakers are taking my advice, as that was a beautiful play.
Yeah, Jack Sullivan on the board for the first time, back to a 4-point lead. Deep 3, on the way, good. When you need some points, Joey Schmitz comes up big for you.
Joey Schmitz, like I said earlier, he's a great three-point shooter, shooting 46%, which is phenomenal if you can get it.
Lead back to 1. Davis, 15-footer straight away, good. Bud Davis with 8.
Davis is loving that mid-range shot from about the charity stripe there, where he's able to get that height on his jump shot. He's got a very high release point. He's able to get over some of these defenders.
Jack Murphy, the spin with the left hand, no. Ball tip, it'll be Earlham basketball.
Got to get that offensive rebound. That's going to be a huge part of this game, is the offensive rebounding by Rose-Hulman, and so far they're kind of struggling trying to tip the ball away, but Earlham's right there. They're fighting.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that Rose-Hulman hasn't had more success down in the paint, too.
Absolutely. I mean, they've been fouled a couple times in the paint. We've seen McElhaney at the line a good handful of times, and he's been pretty successful, too. I mean, on the season, he's only a 56% free throw shooter, but so far he's about 3 for 3. We're going to take a second look at that three-pointer made earlier, as Joey Schmitz just saw an inch of daylight and took it, and it was a beautiful 3 from about 5 feet behind the arc. 5 feet.
By the way, Jack Sullivan just picked up his second. I was watching. He was trying his best, because he's undersized, as most of the Earlham players are down low, just trying to shove those bigs out of the paint.
Oh, absolutely.
So Sullivan will take a seat with those 2 fouls.
Now, if you watch Connor Smith, number 11, I've seen him try and do the same thing for Earlham, where he is physically overpowered, but he's really getting an elbow in there, and he's disrupting a lot of plays that way.
Turnover for Rolls-Holman. Fast break the other way. In the ball game for the Quakers is Chase Newton. Foul against Schmitz.
Schmitz wasn't going to let that one slide. Almost got it back too, but a good recovery from the Quakers, and holding on to that ball will give Joey Schmitz a foul that the Engineers are not looking to get.
Coming up on 9.5 minutes in the first half.
Something that comes with having a size advantage that's obvious to, if it's obvious to us, it's obvious to the refs. And the refs are going to normally favor the smaller guys, as it's just a lot easier to show that dominance from the bigger guys that are going to be more physical. And that normally doesn't turn out very well, especially if you're able to sell a couple fouls. That's what the Quakers are looking to do right now. It'll be big if they can get guys like Joey Schmitz in foul trouble, or some of their taller guys like Cole Pride, or, I mean, really, you look at the roster, you could pick anybody.
By the way, they had Cole Pride wide open underneath. Studemeyer unable to get it to him. Bud Davis doing a nice job kicking that ball out of bounds. Otherwise, that would have been an easy 2. That is Pride. Pull-up shot on the way, no. Boy, they still are cold.
I've been really impressed by this Quakers defense and aggression coming into the game. I mean, you just look at the stat sheets, you see that they are a little bit outmatched defensively in most of their games. Like you said, their last game they were down, 19 at the half. We're seeing the exact opposite right here, where they're fighting for every rebound, every point they can get. And right now it's working out for them, and I'm sure their coach is very pleased with how they've been playing.
That is now 4 turnovers by the Quakers. They thought that Rose-Hulman touched that basketball. But so far, neither team has really had too many issues in the turnover department here in the first half. Still haven't gotten Cole Pride or Torres going. They have a man advantage here as a player is hurt. Pride gets stripped, and the player that is hurt is Connor Smith at mid-court, and this does not look good if you're a Quaker fan at all.
Look to be non-contact too, which is just terrifying if you're a Quaker fan, Quaker family.
We'll take a timeout. 19-16 Quakers.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219.
Well, Connor Smith is out of the lineup. Cole Pride at the line. Cole on the board for the first time tonight. And if you are an Earlham fan, that Connor Smith, like you said, it was a non-contact type situation, but maybe just a little bit of a tweak of an ankle or the knee, right?
We can only hope. I mean, he was pretty furious about that, and that just goes to show what we've been seeing from this Quaker team so far, which is their heart and their aggression. And really unfortunate to see a player go down, but he was able to walk off the court by himself, maybe a rolled ankle.
Yeah, they're checking out the left ankle as Hardiman able to shoot that one over Cole Pride. Lead back to 3. Pride down low, missed another one. Might be the coldest first half we have seen Rose-Hulman this year.
Yeah, Rose-Hulman really needs to take advantage of this this height advantage they got in the paint. So far, it seems like every shot has been perfectly contested. It's really impressive from this Quaker squad.
A wide open shot missed by Colby. Studemeyer on the drive, right hand floater, good.
Nice little dribble drive. I think a key point we can take away from that is Quakers weren't able to get set up on defense there, and they weren't able to get a good contest, or the contest that they'd like. And if Rose-Hulman can speed up their offense a little bit.
Well, Colby just missed his second in a row. Chance to take the lead, but Studemeyer turns it over. 2-on-1 break the other way, and the layup is missed. Gathings unable to get that one going as it went off the front of the rim. Now he'll try a three and shot an air ball.
Not the best look. It looked like he's trying to get back what he just lost, and he might have just lost more.
Savovich back to Pride. Wide open three. Good.
It's the 6'9" junior hitting a deep three. And that's one of the first threes that Rose-Hulman's made all night.
Well, maybe that'll get him going, too.
They definitely need it. They seem a little stuck in the mud, but these last couple possessions have been looking good for them. They sped up the pace a little bit. They're finding the openings early.
And Christian Torres has four. Things are kind of turning now, aren't they?
Absolutely. Engineers now have a 4-point lead that they have been seemingly fighting for their life for.
Good ball movement. Shot on the way, not this time. As Gathings able to hit the three. Media timeout, 5:46 to go, first half. Engineers lead it by 1.
Nanotechnology is in so many different facets of our lives that we don't even realize. So the easy thing is smartphones, nanoscale chips that are in the smartphones. Something else you don't think about are the sensors in all of our cameras. Those sensors that give us the pretty pictures are made by nano engineers. Glitter, it's everywhere, right? Parents' worst nightmare. It's actually a highly designed structure of thin films that they create to have a certain effect. And so that's why you have a single colored glitter, you have a color shift glitter. That's nano engineering.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Piper Logistics. For more than 2 decades, the seasoned professionals at Piper have been the trusted partners for inventory management, warehouse fulfillment, and transportation. Give them a call, 317-396-1023. And by Dynamark Graphics Group. Make sure you choose Dynamark, your local one-stop shop for print, signs, promo products, apparel, and mailing services. They've been serving Indianapolis for over 50 years. Dynamark builds strong relationships through exceptional service. 317-328-2555. That last bucket made by Gathings, but we have seen the table turn just a little bit where Rose-Hulman has been so cold early, they've hit their last couple of shots.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, the Quakers, they started off hot from three, and then they kind of cooled off a little bit, a couple bad shots, a couple missed opportunities, and then we just saw they hit another one. They're up to 4 threes on the game, which have been huge for them, and that's going to be their bread and butter if they're going to stay in this game. But the Fighting Engineers, are clawing their way back. They're starting to hit their mid-ranges, hit a couple threes, and find themselves with a 3-point lead right now.
Savovich hitting that last bucket has 4. That shot on the way good as Tommy Reddick has 5. Lead back to 1.
We've hardly seen any interior plays by the Quakers, and that comes down to that height difference we mentioned earlier. But they've been finding a lot of success at the mid-range. They've hit about 3 or 4 shots from the free throw line area, about 15 feet out.
Savovich now with 6. Quakers are going to have to shore up that defense against the drive.
Absolutely. The Engineers are starting to find their rhythm a little bit, get a couple quick looks, like the Quakers just did there.
Yeah, that was Travis McAboo. His first bucket, back to a 1-point lead. Savovich will find Schmitz for 3. Schmitz now with 6.
Schmitz, both shots from 3. He is a great 3-point shooter, but Rose-Hulman really needs to work on their interior game right now. We saw a couple missed opportunities early.
You know what's surprising, though, about Earlham as Reddick hits his second three is how well they're shooting from the outside.
Absolutely. They knew going in that they'd have to hit a lot of threes to win this game, and they've been doing just that.
That's Schmitz right there. And looks like we have another timeout on the floor. We'll wait and see if this will be a 30 or a full timeout. And it appears it'll be a full timeout. 3:53, 32-31, Fighting Engineers.
IndianaSRN wants to put more kids on TV. And honestly, that's exactly what these kids deserve. They stream more than 350 high school and college games every year, giving Indiana athletes the spotlight they've earned. All games are free to watch with on-demand on their YouTube channel. The cost is amazingly affordable, which means more kids get their moment to shine. IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
At Riskwork, we're Team Indiana through and through. From coaching youth basketball to protecting critical infrastructure. Like our partners at IndianaSRN, we invest in people first. That same grit and leadership on the court drives our work in cybersecurity. We help businesses stay secure, resilient, and ready with no guesswork. If you can trust us to protect the grid, you can surely trust us to protect your Indiana business.
Tonight's game brought to you by Riskwork. We make people feel safe by protecting your business. You live safe, they've got you covered. Give Riskwork a call, 317-379-6755. Now, to give you an idea of how lopsided this series has been over the last 32 meetings in this building, Rolls-Holman has won 28 of those.
Seems like a lot.
It does.
I don't know if it's this wonderful atmosphere here in Terre Haute or just great coaching, but 28 of 32 is nothing to blow your nose at, sneeze at.
I agree with that. I like that. Free throw good by McElhaney. He is perfect from the line 4-4. One other aspect about over the last 4 meetings, and Rolls-Holman has won those by an average of 15. And over the last 3, Earlham has gotten no closer than 18 points. It would have certainly been well in favor of Rolls-Holman. By the way, good news for Quaker fans, Connor Smith is back in.
Yeah, after getting his ankle looked at a little bit, looks like he's clear to play. I mean, he was able to walk himself off the court with a little hobble, but it's good to see him back.
A lot of contact inside. Shot missed, put back good. Nice play by Macondo, number 7. Macondo getting his first 2. Quickly the other way, Torres falls down and scores.
What a shot. I mean, I was focused on Macondo as he was fighting his way into the paint there to try and defend that, but eyes in the back of his head to hit that layup.
Quick shot at the other end. Torres back the other way, contact, basket good.
You could argue that last layup by Torres would have been a foul, but they just went really, really fast, not able to get a good look at it, but Torres getting what he deserves here at the line.
Yeah, here he is right here, and Connor Smith thought maybe Torres had pushed off before that foul. We've got another timeout. And we'll see if this will be a 30 or will it be a full. We kind of have to wait. We're at the mercy of the officials to tell us. Both teams have gone to the bench. They have sat down 35-33, 3:02 to go first half.
Who was both the athletic director and the basketball coach at the time, wrote me a letter. Said, we're interested in you coming to the school. And so I went over and visited in January or February of 1977 and kind of fell in love with the school. And I felt like if I can get a degree here, I'm going to get a job, and that mattered a lot to me. Hi, I'm Steve Hill, CEO and president of the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority. I get to work with an amazing team to promote Las Vegas as the #1 tourist destination and the go-to place for conventions, sports, and entertainment. We've helped expand the convention center, launch the Vegas Loop, and bring big events like the Super Bowl, Formula One, and WrestleMania to town. As chairman of the Stadium Authority, I also help oversee Allegiant Stadium, home of the Las Vegas Raiders, and the future A's ballpark.
Well, we got word that they are reviewing the last play. So that is in the control of those guys down there. I'm not sure whose replay it is, but that's what they're doing.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of contact there from Torres' elbow to the defender's face. I don't know if you'll always call that, but we're going to take a look at this wonderful spinning layup where it looks like Torres got popped in the face just a play before.
Okay, so just evening things out, right?
Yeah, I think that we just go on about our day.
All right, we're going to take another look at this. Oh, yeah.
Maybe a bit of a sell there, but I mean, if you're Earlham, you've got to sell whenever you're in the paint. You're an average of 2 or 3 inches shorter than whoever's going to be up against you, so any advantage you can get, I don't blame him.
Well, whatever happened, Connor Smith doesn't agree. So he's like,
can you blame him?
So Torres at the line, who has 8. First trip to the free throw line tonight, and he misses. 4-point lead.
What's interesting is Torres' free throw percentage and his field goal percentage are about the same at roughly 65%, which is great field goal percentage because he's not like the biggest guy on the court. He's a big dude, but he's just, we saw earlier, his handle around the rim is phenomenal.
Block shot, Savovich can't get it to go. RHIT gets the block. Earlham now unofficially with 5 turnovers. Still a 4-point lead. Davis. Pull-up shot from 3-0. Torres comes away with it.
A lot of confidence there in that three-pointer. Don't know if I loved it, but, I mean, you got to take what you can get, especially if you're confident there. I mean, Earlham's going to have to find the open man and get these shots off quick if they're going to try and come back here before the half ends.
Studemeyer at the other end has another turnover by the Quakers. Number 6, Savovich back the other way, layup good.
A little miscommunication there as the passes. It looked like he was trying not to lead him, and then Connor Smith kind of took off around the defender. Or no, not Connor Smith, excuse me. I believe that was Bud Davis.
Macondo setting that high screen. It's an 8-point lead. Ball loose, another turnover, unless we have a foul call. And it looks like they may get Savovich, and he can't believe that call. Well, that kind of bailed him out there, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely. That was a great grab by Joey Schmitz, able to kind of reach behind him, Odell Beckham Jr. style, get his hands on the ball, but it'll count for nothing here.
Well, even from a psychological standpoint, if you're Earlham, you want to keep this thing at 10 or under.
Absolutely.
For Rose-Hulman, they love to go into the locker room 10 or up.
Yeah, going into the locker room with double-digit lead is definitely a morale booster, especially after the start of the half that they had where Rose-Hulman was playing from behind for a solid chunk of this half.
Yeah, it appears to me, too, that for the Fighting Engineers, they're having a difficult time with Bud Davis. His quickness is kind of shown here in the first half.
Yeah, it seems like Bud Davis can get to really any point on the court where he wants to. We've seen him spot up shoot from around the free throw line right where he is right now. And he's shooting that at a very high split. Rose-Hulman just struggling to keep up with him.
See Cole Pride checking back in for Will McElhaney, who leaves the game with 6. Both free throws good by Bud Davis. He is now in double figures with 10. Macondo comes back in. And that'll put Hardiman on the bench at 116. Right now for Rose-Hulman, they potentially will have 2 more possessions, depending on how this plays out, especially for the Quakers on offense.
If you're Rose-Hulman here, you've got to find the best look available as he drops a defender off the inbound, which you rarely see. But yeah, right here, what you got to do is you got to get that look in the paint. Not able to get it to fall, but I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to that almost immediately.
You know, the one thing about Pride, too, right there, we haven't seen him as much going away from the shot. In other words, he's fading away from the basket instead of going to it like we've seen him all year. I'm a little surprised he's done that so far and as many times tonight. Especially with just how big he looks out there. He's 4 inches taller than the next guy on paper. Oh, what a block! Torres back the other way. Layup good at the other end by Schmitz. What I was just saying about Cole Pride, I mean, he just showed off his length there. Hits the block on a shot that I didn't expect him to be able to reach. Big guy can run the floor. It's all those braces he's got on. Makes him bionic. Shot clock coming up on 10 for Earlham. That's Bud Davis. Dumps it inside, and the attempted dunk and a foul call against Torres as RHIT will go to the line. That was a great defensive attempt by Torres. I don't know how much of his hand made contact with the other hand, but I'm not down there. I'm not the one who makes the calls. That's a hard job. Christian Torres, though, thought he had a clean block, only his first foul. I'll give RHIT a lot of credit trying to dunk it down there, though. Huh? That's confidence, especially against Torres, who we've seen as a phenomenal athlete. Just off vertical, he got maybe 30 inches in the air. And you know, all players never foul, so. Well, why would they? That's just, you don't want to do that. Second free throw is missed, and I think Torres got in the lane a little soon. And they never call that either. You watch a broadcasted like NBA game or something, it's every play that they get in the lane. Yeah. There's no point in even watching. Second free throw by RHIT is short. And we have a foul on Torres. He is having a rough few seconds here. That is phenomenal. What is that, 3 fouls back to back to back? Well, at least 2 fouls and a violation for sure. Here is McElhaney coming in, and Torres will sit down. I'm sure he's a little frustrated. I'd be frustrated too. I mean, I'm watching Torres. He is so much fun to watch. I'm upset that he's got to go to the bench. It's only for 19 seconds, but he has been in every single play. Quakers have a chance here to run out the first half. In the corner, Davis for 3, missed it. Rebound by Schmitz. Chance to get the last shot. A lot of contact. Schmitz drives in the lane. Savovich for 3, no. The tip up, no, by McElhaney. And we've reached the end of the first half. Rose-Hulman getting a battle here today from Earlham, 43-36. Your thoughts on the first half? And you, again, got to give the Quakers a lot of credit in the first half. They have not played well on the road this year. You're playing an undefeated team in the conference. You're most certainly an underdog coming into this one here tonight, but they've stuck with them. Yeah, the Quakers have, especially early on in the game before the Engineers could kind of get themselves in the right gear, Quakers have shot excellent from the three-point. It's kind of tapered off a little bit there at the end, but if they can come out swinging the way they did in the first half, then they're gonna be able to pull back into this game in no time. But the Engineers have been, like I mentioned, they had a slow start. They weren't really looking to get those interior shots that I think would be the best possible look for them. And whenever you're playing against a team that is scoring a lot more efficiently than you would have hoped with this height differential, that would have been a bigger factor if they would go to the basket, get your players like Cole Pride, who has seemed to kind of be scared to get in the paint. I don't know if it's the Quakers' aggression there, where they're putting elbows into bodies, they're really fighting for every rebound they can get, but get your guys like Cole Pride or your guys like Will McElhaney, where they can score
a lot more efficiently from within 10 feet.
We're going to have the first half stats coming up in just a few minutes. We'll get to that here in a little bit. The other aspect of this one, as we talked about before, is generally teams like Earlham, when you're struggling and you really don't have that much to lose in a lot of respects, you just come out and play loose and you just lay it out on the line, right?
Absolutely. We saw that earlier, and actually throughout the entire first half we've been seeing the Quakers put up shots that aren't necessarily the most open, but if you're able to get a good 40% of those shots to fall, then you're in good company. You're going to be in the game, and the Engineers don't really have an answer to that other than hoping that you do miss those looks that aren't necessarily open.
By the way, we're playing for the Munchner Cup, which is the traveling trophy, and the reason is John Munchner was a Hall of Famer at Earlham. He was a Hall of Famer at Rose-Hulman, so that's why they play for that cup here tonight. So just a little added bonus here this evening. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll have those first half stats coming up in just a few moments. Halftime score, Rose-Hulman 43, Earlham 36 here on RHIT.TV.
My first role model was definitely my dad, because he was an engineering major.
My mother's in this field, so it kind of got me interested in it.
The fun is actually learning it, getting through all these experiences, having to go around so that you can celebrate things for it. That makes it very different.
You know, this school changed my life.
Here tonight, I would remind you that the Stone Age did not end because of a lack of stones. Every major advance in civilization is a result of innovation.
So Rose-Hulman coming up on 150 years. The feeling that I have is a sense of privilege to be a part of it.
I like to make things. That's something I really enjoy doing. Creation, problem solving. I tend to have ideas and think, okay, can I make that? Can I give it a shot, whether the answer is yes or no?
There's just a lot of people who care a whole lot here on this campus.
I feel immense pride in that community, the place where students, staff, and faculty have the opportunity to look into the future and see themselves.
Engineers are not in the business of predicting the future, we're in the business of creating the future.
And want to make it good, want to make it strong, and want to make it just as great as it can be for the next 150 years.
Each of you has an original story. Rose-Hulman has its own story too, in which you play a crucial part. Your time contributed to our 150th year history of innovation, entrepreneurship, and discovery. That has significantly helped us shape the world. Today, our stories continue into the future. And I know you'll all make us proud.
Back here at Rose-Hulman. We'll check out those numbers here in just a couple of moments. Today's game brought to you in part by LIUNA. They're the Build America Union, 500,000 strong, fighting for better wages and benefits, safer job sites, and greater opportunities. We are LIUNA. What is going to surprise many of you that have been watching tonight's game, and I think it's going to surprise you too,
Oh, I
because it
can't
did
wait.
me. is Rose-Hulman actually shot 53% in the first half.
You know, it didn't really seem like that just because you were more expecting them to be that dominant force in the paint.
Yeah.
But I didn't see them do that much. I saw them kind of taper off a little bit from that aggression and take more mid-ranges, focus on the fast break, which is going to be a really important factor in this game. But I didn't see them shoot as many as it says that they did and make as many that I thought that they had. Another thing that surprised me was maybe I just got, I don't know, numb to it, but the Quakers' three-point shooting, they shot 17 threes in this first half, hit 5 of them.
Yeah.
It felt like they were a little bit more dominant from 3 just because of how many they shot, and it seemed like every other one was going in. But, I mean, I'm wrong. Maybe it was the fast-paced nature of their gameplay, but I was a little surprised seeing the 29.4% here on the stat sheet.
Yeah, I was a little shocked by all these numbers. Anyway, let's start with Earlham. They were led by Bud Davis with 10, Tommy Reddick with 9, Gathings had 6, Hardiman had 2, Connor Smith had 3, McAboo ended up with 2, McCondo finished with 2, and Sullivan with 2 points. We mentioned from a shooting standpoint, they were 14 of 32, 43.8%, 5 of 17 from three-point range at 29%. They only shot 4 free throws and hit 3 of those, good enough for 75%. Turned the ball over only 6 times, which in a fast-paced game like this, and they love to get up and down the floor, I'll take 6.
I mean, I know they got away with one there where they called it a foul on someone else, but something else I'm a little surprised by. Bud Davis, who we've seen like we've called his name a lot. He's been in almost every single play. He's a very high-energy player and finding a lot of really good looks. But he's 0 for 4 from 3, which I know I didn't see him make any, but I didn't realize he shot just that many threes, and they aren't falling for him. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him trying to get to his spot more consistently instead of settling for a three-pointer that he's not necessarily hot on right now.
By the way, the Quakers did out-rebound Rose-Hulman 18-17. Another kind of big surprise because we talk so much about rebounding coming in, and that Rose-Hulman had all the size, and yet they're down by 1 in the rebounding department.
Yeah, I feel like the biggest issue was early on in the game for Rose-Hulman, whenever they weren't as – it seemed like they weren't mentally ready for this game and the fight that the Quakers would put up. I saw a lot of times where the Fighting Engineers, with their height advantages, were a little bit more complacent on the rebounding. They thought that they would have it with an easy one hand up, grab the ball. But the Quakers are feisty, man.
Yeah.
They've been getting their hands all over the place, tipping the balls away, getting offensive rebounds that they have no business getting.
Yeah.
And that's really been a key factor in keeping them in this game, especially early on whenever they were up by 4 or 5 points for the first maybe 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah, I agree. Let's run down Rose-Hulman. They were led in scoring. 3 different players. Christian Torres with 8. Daniel Savovich with 8. Joey Schmitz with 8. 6 points by Will McElhaney off the bench, but we're kind of used to that. He and other players coming off the bench for Rose-Hulman giving them points. Cole Pride with 5 in the first half. Evan Gentili finished with 2. In the turnover department, only 3 turnovers for Rose-Hulman. Again, they shot 53%. They were 17 of 32 overall, 3 of 9 from three-point range, good enough for 33%, 6 of 8 from the line. That was good enough for 75%. Not a whole lot of points off turnovers. That's good news for both teams. Rose-Hulman 6, and for Earlham, no points off turnovers. In the paint, 28-10. That's, again, a big advantage for Rose-Hulman, which has been kind of their MO this season so far. Second chance points, 5 for Earlham, only 2 for Rose-Hulman in fast break points. Here's another area where you thought maybe Earlham would have, maybe not an advantage, but would be even. But again, fast break points, Rose-Hulman 10, Earlham nothing. So I'm a little surprised by that too. I guess something you and I both agree about this. It's been kind of a weird game in that respect, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, whenever Rose-Hulman's on that fast break, and Earlham isn't able to get into the defensive positioning. Rose-Hulman's able to find a lot of success, like we saw. It's 10 points off of the fast break. There's 28 points in the paint for Rose-Hulman, which isn't surprising. But what is surprising is how Earlham isn't getting these fast break points like we thought that we would see them get, especially with their smaller, faster squad. We're finding them slow down a little bit once they reach half court and just try and pass the ball around or just dribble to find someone's spot like we saw Bud Davis do so many times, where he'd dribble up, make a couple moves, go to the free throw line, and hit that contested jumper. But Rose-Hulman just not necessarily they're finding more success on the fast break, but also, I don't know, it's been a weird game, like you said.
Yeah.
Something big I wanted to mention was the three-point shooting from Rose-Hulman. They've only taken 9, they've hit 3, but 3 of those misses are from one dude. We've got, who was it, Daniel Savovich, 0 for 3 from 3, but everyone else on the team shooting pretty good from 3, especially Joey Schmitz. So I don't know if I would be surprised if I saw them coming out shooting more threes, but I wouldn't be shocked if they did.
By the way, we do want to mention one other side note for Will McElhaney. We were made aware by Will's father that Will took his mother out down to the baseline. She was taking pictures. He took his mother out and messed up her hair. So that's another stat. We'll see if he takes his mom out on the other end, too. So we'll take a timeout. Second half action coming up. Your halftime score, Rose-Hulman 43, Earlham 36, here on RHIT.TV.
Who was both the athletic director and the basketball coach at the time, wrote me a letter. Said, we're interested in you coming to the school. And so I went over and visited in January or February of 1977 and kind of fell in love with the school. And I felt like if I can get a degree here, I'm going to get a job, and that mattered a lot to me. Hi, I'm Steve Hill, CEO and president of the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority. I get to work with an amazing team to promote Las Vegas as the #1 tourist destination and the go-to place for conventions, sports, and entertainment. We've helped expand the convention center, launch the Vegas Loop, and bring big events like the Super Bowl, Formula One, and WrestleMania to town. As chairman of the Stadium Authority, I also help oversee Allegiant Stadium, home of the Las Vegas Raiders, and the future A's ballpark.
Ready for the second half. Now let's talk about this. Rose-Hulman got off to a kind of a slow start. They were able to survive Earlham in the first half. What do you see here in the beginning of the second half?
Obviously, we got to state the apparent thing. Rose-Hulman's got to be more dominant in the paint. We saw Cole Pride, their 6'9" freshman, not taking some of the smartest shots. He hit a big 3, which was a little bit of a surprise to me because I didn't expect to see him that far away from the paint, but he took a couple fadeaways, not the most high percentage shots, but he's so much bigger than everyone else on this court. He's got to be a dominant force, especially when I wouldn't be shocked if we're not going to see as much from Christian Torres after we saw that really strange 2-3 plays in a row where he got 2 fouls and a turnover. He might be in a little bit of foul trouble here. And he's such a fun player to watch, man. He's been great, but we might see a little less of him, especially if he picks up another foul here.
Well, here we go. Second half ready to get underway. 20 more minutes. We'd already mentioned the other undefeated team in the conference today, Transylvania, ended up losing. So by the end of the night, Rose-Hulman could be in first place all by themselves. Savovich, early turnover, number 4. And then Earlham, in a giving mood, they give it right back.
Savovich, great job getting his hands up in the passing lane.
Cole Pride, shot short. Quakers out running once again. They're trying to get some easier shots. We got a foul. Guess who? Poor Christian. That's number 3. He's coming out. Will McElhaney coming in.
Yeah, that's what I worried about. Torres up to 3 fouls here. he's been a stud for them so far. But Will McElhaney, also very good, found most of his success from the line early on. 3 for 4 from the free throw line, 1 other field goal made, but if they can keep feeding him the ball, he's been successful.
Wide open off the inbound. Davis for 3.
That's Bub Davis's first three-pointer of the night, like we mentioned earlier. He was 0 for 4, now 1 for 5. And they're coming out firing here.
Just like they did in the first half. McElhaney, the high screen, Stoudemire. Cole Pride. Back to Stoudemire. A lot of contact inside. McElhaney. Skip past Pride. 8 on the shot clock. Launches it and misses. 1 and done.
I was just about to say I'd be a little upset if I saw Cole Pride try and pull another three-pointer, but also incredibly interested to see what happens.
Shot in the lane, missing is Hardiman. And then a turnover by Pride. Here's Bud Davis for 3, another one.
Bub Davis is a high-energy player, and he's been showing it all game. In these last couple minutes, he has been dominant coming out of the second half.
Timeout on the floor. Engineers down to 1 in their lead.
Your kid's Friday night touchdown. Just with HD on Roku. IndianaSRN is bringing Central Indiana high school sports right to your living room in crystal clear quality. With over 350 live contests streaming each year, from football under the lights to basketball buzzer beaters, we're putting local athletes in the spotlight. Search IndianaSRN on your Roku device today and never miss a moment of hometown glory.
Countdown 3, 2, 1.
College basketball brought to you by Officially Human. Their mission is to restore respect to game officials, recognize them as authorities on the field and the court. So do your part. Practice good sportsmanship. No officials, no games. And how about the Quakers in the beginning? A 6-0 run to begin the second half.
It's been all Bub Davis. We saw him hit that first three. A little spark to the offense, but then almost or maybe a minute later, he gets a big steal off an inbound and pulls another 3. He's 2 for 2 so far in this half. We've seen some questionable shots from Cole Pride. I mean, if I'm Rose Holman, I'm trying to feed him, but he's taking like a 20-footer and maybe a 28-footer. Neither have fallen.
McElhaney at the elbow. Savovich off that screen. Shot clock down to 10. Stoudemire hit from behind. They'll get Bud Davis, only his first.
With how handsy and how high energy Bub Davis has been playing, I'm surprised it's only his first foul, and that's great news for the Quakers. He's been everything for them this half. It's only been 2 minutes, but he's been phenomenal.
By the way, Bud Davis has already reached his season average with 16. I think the quickness that Earlham has shown tonight has also been a real big key as McElhaney in the lane. The kick out to Pride, wide open, he hits this one.
I don't mind that. That's wide open space for next 10 feet, and you've got a good look at the mid-range. I saw him pre-game practicing those shots. They didn't necessarily seem to be falling, but he seems comfortable shooting them.
3 back the other way, and a foul on Savovich, and we'll go to the line for 3. That'll be Tommy Reddick. Boy, and that's always a no-no, is fouling the jump shooter in three-point range. Savovich just picked up number 1.
Yeah, that's just giving up free points right here for a team who will take anything they can get.
By the way, Tommy Reddick now in double figures with 10. Right now, Reddick and Davis doing the majority of the scoring for the Quakers.
And RHIT has a chance to tie the game up here.
Yeah. "27 of their 44 between RHIT and Davis. RHIT calmly hits all three. We're tied at 45. Cole Pride trying to get position underneath.
And they've been physical with him all game. I'm not surprised he's been settling for some outside looks, especially with how banged up he's been.
Turnover. Number 6 now for Rose-Hulman.
And these Quakers are fighting, man. They are not giving up a single opportunity for Rose-Hulman.
Coach Nick Sales will join us after the game. Kind of shaking his head down there on the sidelines after that last turnover. That is RHIT. Shot clock at 7. Off the screen, RHIT. No.
It's a good look, though. A lot of really good ball movement up at the top of the key that Earlham's going to try and replicate, I feel.
How about Cole Pride, the jump hook right there? He has 9.
Beautiful touch on that fadeaway. Little fadeaway, hook shot, whatever you want to call it. It was perfect. And that's, no one on the court can block that. Similar to the Dirk Nowitzki fadeaway, circa 2011.
Drive by Davis, the feed, and the dunk by RHIT. Great pass by Davis.
That was great patience by Davis, too, not taking the contested layup that I wouldn't be shocked if he would be able to hit, but finding the open man with no contest.
McElhaney cutting down the lane. Good pass by Cole Pride. Back to a 2-point lead. Connor Smith, who got hurt in the first half, seems to be okay as he has the basketball out front. Quakers have done a nice job, as you mentioned, in ball movement. Got a good look at the top of the key as Gathings can't get it to go. Driving is Savovich off the glass. Good, he's in double figures with 10.
That was a great drive. Great job pounding the ball on the ground and getting that firm control and also not fouling on a charge there. That's very easy to get a foul called, especially with how aggressive he was going into the paint.
Knocking the ball out of bounds is Joey Schmitz. We have a TV timeout. 15:03 to go in the second half. Engineers lead it by 4.
When I was growing up, I had pretty good math skills, and I had a high interest in science. My mother's father was an engineer. Although I never really knew him, I knew of him. So the option of being an engineer was always exciting to me. And as I progressed through high school, one of the things that really stuck out to me, our football training room in high school had a Rose-Hulman football poster. As I got closer to making a decision, I learned a lot about Rose, and the appealing thing to me was that it was going to be a small setting. I would maybe have an opportunity to play football, which I knew I wasn't going to be a professional football player, but the team association, the friendships, the camaraderie had always been important to me.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by Family Source Insurance. Pat Cherry is your independent agent, proudly representing Ohio Mutual Insurance. Give him a call at 317-894-7000 for more information. We'll be back here Saturday as Rose-Hulman will play DePaul. I believe that's a 2 o'clock tip-off time. And then, if I'm not mistaken, I'm back here next Tuesday. Might as well just move here. That's another 2 o'clock afternoon contest, and then we head to the Christmas break.
Spending a lot of time in Terre Haute. You got any spots you like to visit here?
I'm going to have to find some. So far, no.
Yeah, I'm having the same problem.
Great crossover and the miss. McAboo can't get it to go. Studemeyer down the lane, bucket good.
Nice drive. Studemeyer's been a little bit quiet this game, but he's had some key defensive stops and a couple good plays on offense that have kept this lead intact.
Jack Sullivan, the kick out, and a lot of contact underneath. They're going to get Jack Murphy. You and I could have called that up here. Murphy had him around the waist.
Yeah, he was giving a little hug, giving him congratulations.
Hardiman will go to the line for two. You know, we always talk about when you foul like that, Hardiman probably could have gotten a hold of the police and filed a report that he got mugged. Free throw good, 53-48.
They say Jack Murphy's 6'5", but he looks a lot bigger than some of these other guys out here.
Maybe he's 6'5" with his shoes off.
And his feet filed down. I don't like that. Never mind.
Speaking of Murphy, that's Murphy. Jump hook off the glass, no.
A little too powerful, a little bit too much spin on that. He's got to slow down a little bit. I mean, we saw in that last defensive possession whenever he was very physical. He is high energy, but not a lot of control so far. He's got to settle down a little bit.
By the way, Chase Newton back in the lineup now for Earlham. Shot clock at 10. Fadeaway shot on the way, good. There is Hardiman again.
The arch on that got maybe 6 inches over the rim, but it was perfect.
Lead back to 3. Savovich. The runner is good.
Savovich's touch around the rim has been perfect so far. He has got a nice little soft touch.
Hardiman 3.5. Spin to the baseline. Good touch.
Right now it looks like they're seeking out Jack Murphy as a target where they feel like they're either going to score or get a foul called. Murphy's got to get a little bit more stability on the ground there.
McElhaney on the drive. Nice move to the inside. McElhaney finishes. He now has 10.
McElhaney's having a great game right now. He's already over his season average of about 6 or 7 points.
Lead back to 5. McElhaney, be careful out front against Reddick. Reddick on the drive. Newton, the kick. The 3 is on the way, well short, as Hardiman can't get it to go.
I thought that inbound right there might get stolen as he was falling.
Savovich on the drive.
Savovich, again, not the biggest guy, not the most athletic, but with really nice finesse around the rim and great footwork. He's able to get a lot of these to fall.
Almost a turnover at midcourt. Quakers will hold on, and Gentili forcing the turnover.
We're going to see a repeat of this layup. And again, he jumps from maybe 8 or 9 feet out and still gets a perfect touch around the rim on just off the corner of the glass. That's really impressive around these bigger dudes who have their hands up.
By the way, B.J. Wesley is checked back in now for Rose-Hulman. We saw him in the first half. Slip screen by McElhaney. Probably should have shot that ball, but he tried to get it to Murphy.
A little bit too unselfish there. As he watched those defenders close in around him, they backed off perfectly and forced the turnover.
Timeout on the floor, 59-52, Fighting Engineers.
The thought process and the training on how to think about things, I think, has been more valuable than the degree in my career. But I really feel like Rose taught me just the structure of how to think well. That structure and that discipline has been something you can apply even when it's not to what is kind of a stereotypical engineering problem. That's been, I feel, a real benefit.
Hey sports fans, are you ready to get even closer to all the action with IndianaSRN? Subscribe now and never miss a moment. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and get instant access to exclusive live streams. Stay updated with real-time scores and breaking news by following us on Twitter, your ultimate source for everything Indiana sports related. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube and smash that follow on Twitter. Join the IndianaSRN family today and take your passion for high school and college sports to the next level.
Tonight's game brought to you by Aspen Creek Grill. If you're looking for fresh, amazing food and servers who truly care about your experience, make sure you check out Aspen Creek Grill. Great place to go, by the way, with the college football playoffs coming up this weekend, huh?
Oh boy, I'm a IU student currently, and I am hoping Alabama wins.
Like that matchup?
Yes, I do. Alabama's not a great team this year. They shouldn't be in the playoffs to begin with, but that's not why we're here.
Quakers down by 7 after the media timeout. That is Newton against McElhaney. Donovan Pruitt is checked in for Earlham. Baseline drive, and losing the handle is Hardiman, and they call a foul. Hardiman got bailed out on that one.
I am not sure about that, but it is a tough call to make. And Earlham's going to have a chance to cut into this lead that the Engineers have kind of been consistently building slowly but surely. We saw they were sitting around 5 points-ish lead for a good chunk of this second half, but now they're up to 7.
By the way, Wesley picked up that foul, his first. Shot clock down to 6. Shot on the way, no good, and that's going to put Connor Smith at the line for the first time.
Connor Smith this whole game has been going at 110%. You watch him at any point, he is hustling, he's huffing and puffing, he's getting his hands wherever he can. And him going down earlier and coming back is a testament to just how much, I don't know if it's passion or what, but this team has got something that's keeping him in this game.
By the way, Daniel Savovich picked up his third. Connor Smith, first point of the second half. So Connor Smith now with 5. The lead is 5. By the way, we haven't seen Cole Pride in a little while. Murphy a little bit out of his range. Gentili midcourt. Gentili gets cut off, leans in, missed it. Quakers basketball.
Yeah, Murphy hasn't shot a 3 all year. I wouldn't have been mad at seeing how he could do right there, but if it's not your shot, it's not your shot.
Boy, Connor Smith went down again. It looks like he's okay, but he's not 100%.
He's playing like like he's got no injuries right now. He's throwing his body all around the court.
The baseline drive, basket good. Gathings has 8. Lead down to 3. Wide open is B.J. Wesley, missed it.
Wesley had a weird little spin on that ball. Looked like it left his hands funky. He's going to want that one back. They gave him all the time in the world to take that shot. Maybe got in his own head a little bit.
Gentili picks up the open court foul. So Cole Pride is back in. Christian Torres is back in. Boy, Torres had that excellent game in the rebounding department against Anderson with 16.
Goodness.
That was also the game Cole Pride had 27.
Cole Pride must have found a matchup he loved, and he has not found that this game.
Gathings missed a wide open shot. Wesley, the kick out. Here's Torres on the drive, and a foul call against Gathings.
I'm rooting for Torres right now. He had a bit of an unlucky spell there earlier in the game that kept him out most of the second half, but he has been electric to watch so far. even whenever he does wrong, he's still very fun to watch.
You know, the other player, Joey Schmitz, had 8 in the first half. He's coming off only a 5-point performance against Anderson. He was only 2 of 11 in the shooting department. Joey got off to such a hot start, not only in the season but in the game. But they're going to need him to pick it up here in the second half.
Absolutely. We saw him hit 2 threes with beautiful shots early or not early, but throughout the first half. And then another field goal to add on to it. But he's been a little quiet this game. Surprisingly so, especially since he's their leading scorer on the season, averaging about 17 points per game.
Chance to tie, missing is Smith. Rolls Holman back the other way. It goes out of bounds. I'm going to say Gentile either didn't touch it and it went off Wesley's pass, but I don't think that for head coach Nick Sales, he's too happy with that, but it is a turnover.
Gentile thought he saw defender get a hand on it.
And I believe they're going to get another look at it.
It was facing away from the camera, so it's going to be a little difficult to tell what exactly happened.
Now, we don't know what feed they're looking at, so I don't know where the camera is or if it's our feed or what it is, so I'm really not sure what they're going to see.
Where is that other camera hiding? Oh, I think I see him down there by the basket.
Yeah, but he probably has a pretty good look at it, but
that's way better than what I thought we would be looking at here.
Can you tell from that? I see it right there, but
yeah, it looks like they're looking at what we see. I don't know how helpful that'll be.
Well, the other thing, too, it's very definitive. You're not going to change the call.
No, unless there's absolute certainty. But Gentile was not happy about that. He thought for sure a defender got a hand on it. That's why he backed away so quickly and confidently.
8 turnovers now for Rolls Holman, 9 tonight for Earlham. Quakers still have a chance to tie with a 3 right here.
Looks like we're sticking with Earlham ball here. Not enough evidence to overturn that call.
Quakers hanging right in there. Looking for their first conference win. Layup good. That'll be Hardiman.
He came down with a full head of steam. I thought he was going to try and break the backboard there.
So it's a 1-point lead. Boy, a bad pass by Gentile. 9 turnovers.
Way to get in the passing lane by Tommy Reddick. Almost too much contact there, trying to get in the way, but played it off well. Ends up with another turnover for Rose Holman.
Drive, pull up, shot off the glass. Good. It'll be Pruitt. His first 2, and Earlham leads it by 1. By the way, Gentile's going to come out of the game after that last turnover. This is Schmitz. Blocked shot. Great job by Reddick. And Earlham a chance to extend the lead at 8 minutes.
Even if Rose Holman wanted to, the Quakers aren't letting them get in the paint right now. They're blocking off all the passing lanes, forcing turnovers constantly.
Wide open shot on the way is no good. McAboo can't get it to fall. Will head the other way. Gentile from 3. No. Rebound, Cole Pride. They get another chance and a reset of 20. Gentile again. This time he'll hit it.
Gentile's confident in that shot. He was not going to let that happen twice in a row. And that's great offensive rebounding that Rose Holman's going to want to see more of here in the rest of the second half.
And how about the answer to the call? That's Connor Smith.
Connor Smith right back at him. No hesitation on that shot.
And I believe that's an over and back. That's just a lack of concentration right there by Rolls Holman. And we've got another timeout on the floor. 63-62 Quakers.
Independent studies, I came across the IndieDining.com domain name, and so I built kind of this restaurant listing platform that was a kind of Yelp before Yelp was really popular. So after graduation, I continued work on Indy Dining. I ended up meeting a CEO of a company called FormStack, and from that experience, I ended up starting another business. I built out the company, and then we merged companies again with FormStack. And I took some time off after selling that business, and I realized at my core I just enjoy like tinkering and building things. I started this venture studio where we kind of come up with ideas and we build them out, and then they kind of run with them. I'm behind the scenes kind of just doing what I really enjoy is building those products.
Back once again here at Rose-Hulman. Want to remind you, tonight's game brought to you by Wheeler Mission for over 131 years. Wheeler Mission has been a pillar in the Indianapolis community, providing help, hope, and keep healing to people in need. If you'd like more information, give them a call, 317-686-6239. And right now, Earlham leads it by 1. We have just over 7 minutes remaining. There's the last 3 by Gentili, and they needed that one.
And that came off a big offensive rebound off of a prior Gentili 3-point miss. But the offensive rebounds will be a game changer if Rose-Hulman can continue to get them.
By the way, back in the lineup, Bud Davis. Studemeyer back in for Rose-Hulman. Shot clock at 3. Off-balance shot, and guess who they got again? They got Torres for number 4, and this is the second time we have seen a jump shooter get fouled on a 3-point attempt, and we'll go to the line for 3.
Torres had a fantastic first half, but he looks a little bit rattled here in the second. Probably a little bit cold because he had to sit so much time due to some foul trouble, and this is just getting him a little bit deeper. He's got 4 on the day.
Tommy Reddick will get 2 more. So far, Torres and Savovic, 4 and 3 fouls respectively. Reddick now 4 of 5 from the line in the second half. Torres will sit down. And McElhaney back in. McElhaney's had a good game, as you mentioned earlier. He has 10.
Maybe he needs to start messing up his mom's hair a little bit more before each game, because this has been, I'm liking what I'm seeing. He hasn't really been making too many mistakes. We've seen a couple times some hesitation, but so far he's been very solid.
Studemeyer will find Schmitz. Savovic, 10 on the shot clock. Looking inside to McElhaney. Shot clock down to 5. McElhaney, jump hook on the way, good.
McElhaney wanted to feed the ball on the inside, but he had to take it himself. Great touch on the little hook shot there.
Quakers lead it by 1. McElhaney with 12. Student section that is here tonight trying to help their team defensively, and a foul call against Joey Schmitz. That'll be number 2 on Schmitz. And we'll head to the free throw line.
Joey Schmitz needs to get a little bit more active on this offensive game. I feel like that's one of the key reasons why they're clawing back from behind. He's not shooting his normal shots. I feel like he's way behind on his average pace. You mentioned earlier he's coming off of a bit of a rough game last game.
McAboo checking in as Donovan Pruitt will lead. Pruitt with 2. McAboo also with 2. Second free throw good. 18 now for Bud Davis.
Bud Davis has just been a joy to watch. He's doing everything right. In the first half, coach clearly told him, hey man, you want to take a shot, you take it. And it didn't necessarily work out from 3, but so far in this second half, he has been the lifeblood of this Quakers team.
Schmitz almost turned it over, and he did right there. Back the other way we go. That's Davis. The 3 on the way, in and out, as Connor Smith may have forced that one. Here's Pride. The feed inside, and McElhaney, bucket good, and he's fouled.
McElhaney getting a lot more confident inside. He's kind of starting to realize that these guys might be a little shorter than him. He might have a better chance the closer he gets to the rim, and he is a physical player who's not afraid to put one up whenever he's got a guy on him.
By the way, Joey Schmitz coming out of the lineup. Schmitz with no points in the second half. Free throw by McElhaney is good.
McElhaney, a career 66% or season 66% free throw shooter, but right now I believe he's 5 for 6 or 6 for 7 from free throw, because I know he only missed one in the first half.
That shot missed by Smith. Yeah, he's only missed one free throw here tonight. Now chance to take the lead. Can they get it to McElhaney? Really being bumped down low by Connor Smith. Savovich, drive score.
That's that touch by Savovich right there. He saw an opening in the lane and took it without any hesitation. Going up with the right hand from the left side is always a little bit sketchy, but he knew he had the time to.
Bud Davis will be fouled and go to the line. Cole Pride, his first.
Bud Davis looking to get 20 points here on the night.
So if I would have told you before the game that Cole Pride, who averages over 14, has just 9, and I told you that Joey Schmitz, who averages nearly 17, has only 8, and Rose-Hulman still has a chance to win, what would you have told me?
I would ask what you were drinking the night before, because that is not how I expected this game to go. That's the exact opposite of everything I said at the beginning of the game, where I thought the Engineers had to use this height advantage, use their key players, or their star players rather. And right now it's been flipped on its head, and they're just fighting to keep a lead.
Boy, Bud Davis really pressuring Stoudemire. Ball loose from behind, but a foul call on the reach. They will get Gathings. One thing about Earlham again is their quickness, and again they don't have the size, but their ability to deflect the pass, as much as we have seen, has kind of taken Rose-Hulman out of their offense.
Yeah, their vision is great on defense. Something I didn't expect was how well they're able to get in the passing lanes, like right there.
Yeah.
Seeing the pass before it's out of the passer's hands is a skill, and it seems like a good chunk of these players have it. They're coughing up turnovers left and right.
4:27 remaining. 15 on the shot clock here for the Fighting Engineers. Trying to avoid the big upset. McElhaney.
Able to keep his hands on the ball barely and get the pass off. That was huge to not have a turnover there.
Evan Gentili. Big bucket. He has 9.
Gentili's not been afraid to let it fly in this second half, and right now he's got 2 threes in this second half.
And a turnover the other way by Hardiman.
Rose-Hulman's been waiting for a break like this, and they finally got it. Their shooting is starting to pick up a little bit. They're getting some strength in the interior through players like McElhaney and a couple defensive stops.
Foul on Gathings, his third, will put Kobe Stoudemire at the line. He has not been to the line tonight. And we've got a timeout on the floor. 3:52 to go. Engineers lead at 72-69.
Independent studies, I came across the IndiediNing.com domain name, and so I built kind of this restaurant listing platform that was a kind of Yelp before Yelp was really popular. So after graduation, I continued work on Indie Dining. I ended up meeting a CEO of a company called FormStack, and from that experience, I ended up starting another business. I built out the company, and then we merged companies again with FormStack. And I took some time off after selling that business, and I realized at my core I just enjoy like tinkering and building things. I started this venture studio where we kind of come up with ideas and we build them out, and then they kind of run with them. I'm behind the scenes kind of just doing what I really enjoy is building those products.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by LifeWise Academy. LifeWise program supports educators and communities by improving student outcomes. With LifeWise Academy, your community can bring biblical values back into the classroom. Give them a call, 614-367-5767. We are now what we would consider crunch time. Which team is going to survive late mistakes and take advantage of the other team, right?
Rose-Hulman's been finding a lot of momentum here in the last minute or two, which they've been desperately needing. They haven't seemed to catch a break for a while, but now a couple good plays in a row, a good 3 out of Gentili, defensive stop, and now here a shooting foul. And they can make this a 2-possession game. Maybe. My fault.
You know, the free throws are just so important in close games that you just really need to hit these.
Really easy to get in your own head here. And I hope he can't hear me.
Well, he appreciates your support.
I'm rooting for you. My bad, Studemeyer.
All right, 3-point lead, Earlham basketball. Here's Davis. The drive, a lot of contact underneath, no whistle. The offensive rebound, once again by Hardiman. Shot clock at 6.
Hardiman is an aggressive attacker to the rim.
Hardiman, and shot clock violation. Yeah, I was going to say when I looked up, it did not reset, but I thought maybe they thought it was an air ball, but now they're going to go back to the monitor once again.
The possession seemed fast.
It did.
That's all I'll say. They barely had a second to get a couple outlet passes in before you could hear the crowd start to chant, as they do.
You know, the good news is that there's a little pressure on our camera people, because if they're using our feed, they cannot look away, can they?
They cannot. We are the center of attention.
Yes.
Which is a good feeling.
Yes.
I enjoy it.
Of course, they'll have to confer with those at the scorers table as well. You know, the nice thing I can tell you right now, they have the ability to take that replay and rewind it, because I saw them doing it right there. So
technology has come so far.
Hasn't it?
Can you believe that? When I was a kid, you just had to draw what happened, like a courtroom reporter.
Well, when I was a kid, none of this was even thought of, believe me. You barely had television, let alone internet.
You got your three stations. You could watch the Flintstones, the news, or Jaws on repeat.
Well, I can even go back further than that. 3 stations. The only time you could watch baseball was Saturday afternoon with Joe Garagiola, Tony Kubek. Of course, those guys, you probably don't even know anything about those guys, do you?
A couple names ring a bell, I'd say. I can't expand on it, but...
How about Kurt Gowdy? You ever heard of him? Okay.
Not off the top of my head.
I used to work for him.
Good dude?
Yeah. A kind of grumpy old guy, but other than that, he was okay.
Aren't they all?
Now you can look him up when you go home later. You have nothing else to do besides, if you have to go to bed, go to bed. But otherwise, look up.
I do have bedtime at some point tonight.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. Big drive home. But if you're Rose-Hulman right here, back to the game, for the rest of the game, you're playing your big, I'm assuming you're playing your tall lineup, but it looks like they're not, which is a bit of a surprise. They've got a couple of the shorter guys. What do you think is that mindset?
Well, right now, it looks like the way that maybe Joey Schmidt's not having the kind of game that they need out of him. And again, Torres has had kind of a rough second half. I think they're right now going with the guys who may give them the best chance to win this game. And you mentioned McElhaney's had a good second half. Savovich now with 16, and Gentili hit that big 3. He has 9. I think right now you're going with your hot hand.
Yeah, right now each player Outside of maybe Cole Pride, which I think that'll switch here in a minute, but everyone's been finding success both offensively and defensively.
Quick release and a foul call, I think, in the corner. Gentile got knocked out of bounds, and they're going to call that foul, I think, on Bud Davis. And they got a technical on him. Wow. I'd have to see that at the end.
Yeah.
I saw him go out of bounds, but I didn't see what happened after. You see Bud Davis getting up right there. Is Savovich at the line?
And these are huge free throws right now to make it a 2-possession game. I'm still not confident what happened.
So what our producer just told us is that Bud Davis grabbed Gentile on the leg while he was on the ground. And I'm assuming that meant that he was preventing him from getting up. But I think Bud Davis probably thought he got fouled on the three.
It looked like a lot of contact.
Yeah, it should. I thought it would be Rose-Hulman basketball here.
Letting these hardworking players catch a breather really fast as the referees try and figure out what is going on.
Well, I'm not sure. Well, Earlham's going to get a fresh 20. They're down by 4. The drive down the lane, left-hand shot, good by Reddick.
Way to get around Pride there, as Pride's not going to be the fastest player. They got him out of position, and a good look from about 3 feet from the basket.
Savovich off the drive, Cole Pride, no. Chance to tie or take the lead, 2:43 to go.
Pride has taken about 3 more threes than I've expected from him this game. But he did hit one. Can you blame him?
And that might have really been the shot they were looking for. I thought maybe they would have tried to work it back inside.
Yeah, I would have assumed that they would try and slow the game down a little bit, and that looks like a...
Well, it was only a little push by Savovich.
I am not sure what is going on at this point in the game. My eyes deceive me. Maybe he stepped out before any contact?
Maybe. I'll give you that. You can sell that when you go back and watch it later. Let me know.
Impressive stuff by the Rose-Hulman defense.
Savovich off the roll. Cole Pride, nothing.
Wanted to find his big man in the paint there, but not a lane. I'm sure there's a lot of hesitation to make these passes. Like just now, what I was about to say is they've been all over those passing lanes.
12 turnovers now by Rose-Hulman. Majority of those coming in the second half. Quakers again have a chance to take the lead here on a 3.
This Quaker team may be a lot smaller than Rose-Hulman, but you wouldn't be able to tell because what they lack in size, they make up for in speed and defense. And it has been a nightmare for Rose-Hulman to try and get things going offensively consistently.
And how about the defense of McElhaney challenging that shot at the other end and then comes away with the basketball?
McElhaney is working his tail end off right now. And this has been a great game for him, probably his best game of the season so far, so he's looking to keep that going. He's got a lot of confidence, a full head of steam, and I'm loving what I'm seeing out of the young fella.
Gatling's got the block shot. Shot clock is at 12, game clock at 1:10. And we are going to go right down to perhaps the final possession. Savovich better pay attention to that shot clock. Savovich, fade away, no. Rebound, Gentile, put back, yes!
Massive rebound and putback. That offensive rebound that they've been missing for so long, they finally get, as it looked like it was 4 Rose-Hulman players to 1 Earlham defender.
43 seconds remaining.
4-point game. Earlham needs a quick bucket and a stop.
Reddick. And Reddick turned it over.
That is a huge mistake by Reddick. Ball just left his hand as he was trying to find a quick little handoff. That is heartbreaking if you're a Quaker fan.
There is a difference of maybe 1 second between the game clock and the shot clock. Earlham will have to foul here, and they will, and they'll stop the clock at 19.1. And you put Savovich at the line, too.
The Quakers have been fighting so hard, and it is heartbreaking to see them. I don't want to say lose just yet. There's still 20 seconds. Game ain't over till it's over. But just a huge mistake on a pretty basic pass.
Well, sometimes it's those little mistakes that's the difference between a team that is 1-8 and a team that might be 5-4.
Absolutely.
Earlham's going to get a timeout here. And it looks like it'll be a full timeout. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Morales Group Staffing. They're in business to create a better future for you, your family, and the community we share. Whether you're looking for the right career or the perfect candidate, they're here to help. Give them a call, 317-472-7600. You're down by 2 possessions. The odds are not good because bottom line is if I am Rolls-Holman, you got the full court to go unless you advance it on a timeout. But other than that, I mean, you're going to have a kind of a miracle here, aren't you?
You're going to have to hope that these Rose-Holman players succumb to some pressure and miss some free throws here, which they've been a little bit off and on their free throws, especially in the second half. We've seen a good amount missed. But with a 5-point lead and only roughly 20 seconds left, it's going to take a miracle for these Quakers to get back in the game.
I got to go back to that turnover. That hurts.
It really does, especially with how much I've enjoyed watching this Quakers team as such a big underdog coming into this game. They have been fighting for their life all game, just out hustling, and their defense has been phenomenal against a team that is so much more physically imposing. That's just one big play that might change the outcome of the game. And that's basketball for you.
Well, other thing, you look at it, we talked about Cole Pride and Joey Schmitz, and you hold them both well into their average. And tough not to win a game like this. Davis, the handoff. Here's the 3 on the way. That's well off the mark by Smith. It'll be Rolls-Holman basketball, foul in the backcourt, and that's pretty much going to seal it.
Savovich is more than happy to take more free throws and get more points on the stat sheet here.
It's kind of one of those games you go, phew, that was close.
I am thoroughly impressed by this Quakers squad. They're 1-8, but they're playing like they're at the same level as this Rose-Holman team that's number 1 in the conference.
Well, if you don't have some big games like Savovich and McElhaney and Gentili hitting some big shots, that's the nice thing about being a team like Rose-Holman. You had other guys step up again. 8-point lead. Davis at the buzzer, and it's over. Rolls-Holman surviving. They are undefeated in the conference now at 4-0. They win at 79-71. We'll have the final stats coming up in just a few moments. We'll also talk with head coach Nick Sales in a little bit as well. But as you alluded to earlier, I mean, you got to give Earlham all the credit in the world. They were right into this thing right down to the very end. So a great performance by Earlham.
Absolutely. They came into this game with a underdog mentality where you got to come in being scrappy, take advantage of everything you can get, and most of all, you just got to keep that mindset. You cannot let it taper off. And they really showed that they didn't. let it taper off. Throughout the entire game, up until the end where a couple things didn't go their way, and it became this 7-8 point game throughout the last minute. But they fought their butts off to stay in this game and at times have a 5-6 point lead. That's just so impressive from a team that came into the game 1-8.
Yeah. And by the way, Daniel Savovich leading the way unofficially with 21. Had 3 players in double figures. And you had Gentile with 11, 8 of those in the second half. Will McElhaney, we mentioned, had a big game. He had 9 in the second half, 15 for the ball game, and he made a huge difference too.
Absolutely. I mean, you talk about a freshman stepping up. That's the definition of it, especially in the second half of a game where you are fighting to keep a lead. Having a freshman have the confidence and physicality to keep pressing into the paint, make almost every right decision, and have such focus and touch around the rim is very impressive. It's all you can ask for out of a freshman in a conference game.
By the way, they did give Savovich just 19, so they gave that other basket to somebody else. So you had 4 players in double figures, Torres with 10, Savovich with 19, Will McElhaney 15, and then Evan Gentile with 10. So 4 players in double figures. They still ended up shooting, Rose-Hulman, 53%. Earlham ended up shooting just 44% on the night as well. We're going to take a timeout. We'll have Nick Sales coming up in a couple of moments. We'll talk with the head coach for the Fighting Engineers next. Rose-Hulman wins it 79-71.
When I catch myself becoming curious, I notice my peripheral vision attenuating.
There's definitely a thrill.
Definitely keeps me up at night.
I think I'm somebody who, when I'm curious about something, I take immediate action. I'm immediately, running.
Curiosity for me, if I had to describe it in terms of a physical sensation, it would definitely be an itch. I have to scratch that until that sensation is gone.
It is definitely just an itch I can't scratch until I figure out what's going on, figure out what is at the bottom of everything.
What initially drew me in is, as a kid, you're like, yes, up is black at night. So I think that was really appealing to me, knowing that there was some hidden magic behind this veil of darkness. I do really like space. Space is one of my favorite things, just in general, all of space. 10 out of 10.
The kind of brain that thrives is a curious mind.
Curiosity is such an important part of the academic endeavor.
And without curiosity, we wouldn't have the society we have today.
You don't explore the unknown if you're not curious.
So students that really do have that curiosity, we love to get them into the lab, out of the regular classroom, because a lot of our students are tinkerers. They come in, they want to tinker, they want to play around with things, take things apart, and figure out how they work.
Right. Someone who understands, because I'm teaching robotics this quarter, that I'm never going to just give you the answer. I will give you the goal, I will give you hints, and I will give you breadcrumbs. But if you get there yourself, you learn something. College, most importantly, teaches you how to learn.
And that is one of the most rewarding things as an instructor, is seeing that aha moment in your students' eyes. I live for that. I teach for that.
I mean, you can't teach curiosity. You just need to encourage your students to be curious. Curious in anything that they do. Curious so that it brings out the innovations, the new ideas.
Back here at Rose-Hulman, let's go ahead and run down the statistics as we wait on Coach Sales to make his way to the broadcast area here tonight, and we'll get his thoughts on the very tough 79-71 win for the Fighting Engineers tonight. Let's start first off with Earlham. They ended up with 2 players in double figures. Bud Davis led the Quakers with 20, 6 of 14 on the night, 2 of 8 from three-point range, again 20 points. Tommy Reddick finished with 18 tonight, 5 of 7 from the floor as Nick Sales makes his way. We'll talk to him in a moment. Quakers ended up shooting at 44% on the night. Rose-Hulman again with 4 players in double figures. Daniel Savovich with 19. Will McElhaney with 15. 10 points by Christian Torres. And Evan Gentili with 10 points in the win tonight. And as we mentioned, Rose-Hulman is undefeated, still in conference play as they move again to 4-0. And Coach Sales kind enough to be with us here tonight. Coach, first off, congratulations on the win. And I think you generally know, no matter who you play in this conference, somebody's going to give you everything they got.
Everybody is,
yeah,
right? Everybody.
Yeah.
Like when our league went to allowing 8 teams in this tournament, everybody has a chance.
Yeah.
And obviously for the Munster Cup, Earlham always plays us tough. Their new coach is doing a great job. They got some phenomenal players. And people don't understand when you watch the games and you see the record, you see the run that cost that team a loss. Like every game for them has been really tight.
Yeah.
It's just a couple possessions, and then next thing you know, they get out of hand. But they've become more and more resilient. As we get in conference play, they've played tough non-conference opponents, and that's what people don't see on the outside.
Yeah.
Every game is scary for me because I know our deficiencies, and I know what the team is going to try to do to attack it, and I got 2 days to try to get these guys to figure it out, and they 18 to 22-year-olds. And, you know, they got calc exams tomorrow and thinking about Christmas break, and so, you know, I thought our guys did a good job of getting it out.
Yeah, and you're right. It's easy for a lot of people on the outside to think, well, maybe they didn't play as well, but there's so many other factors. I mean, there's our student athletes here, you know.
Absolutely.
So a lot going on in their life for sure.
Absolutely.
But you had some guys step up for you, too. I know that perhaps from a standpoint, Cole Pride didn't have the kind of game he generally has. And then, of course, when you think about the play of Joey Schmitz, he didn't score in the second half, but that's the key to your basketball team is because of your depth, you got other guys stepping up for you.
Yeah, I want to be a selfless group. I never want to rely on 1 or 2 guys. I mean, we've had games where we got 6 guys scoring in double figures in the night. We got 4, and then we got 2 with 8, 1 with 9, and that's the type of team I want to be, all right? I want us to make the right plays. We got 19 assists. I wish that was higher. I wish we shot better from the foul line offensively, but I think there's more joy in basketball movement, and the ball tends to go in the hoop a lot more when you trust each other, and it translates off the court too. I love our style of play. We just, you know, I just think we got to shoot the ball from the foul line a little bit better tonight.
You know, sometimes it's not bad having a really challenging. I know you don't like as a head coach, I'm sure as much, but to have that kind of challenge for your players to know that night in and night out, you really got to come to play, don't you?
Yeah, and it speaks a lot about our league. I think our league in the non-conference has really challenged themselves, and I know how good our coaches are in our league, and again, everyone is going to be a tough night. Like Transy went to Manchester tonight and lost, right?
That's right.
Like, and, you know, Anderson went to Hanover and lost, right? And I don't know what the Franklin Mount St. Joe score was, but Bluffton went to Berea tonight. Like, it's going to be like that every single night, and that's why you got to love our league.
Yeah, well, that's why it's an easy job for you, right?
Far from a fun job most days.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see the resiliency of our guys tonight.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Coach, congratulations
Thank
on the
you
win.
so
We'll
much.
see you on Saturday, and that's
All
going
right.
to be a tough one, too.
It will. I take pride in a really tough non-conference,
Yeah.
and our non-conference has been really tough. And Coach Lloyd obviously was here before me, is doing a phenomenal job over at DePaul. So it should be fun.
All right, big win tonight. And again, we'll see you coming up on Saturday. That is a 2 o'clock tip-off time. We'll be on the air at 1:45 right here on RHIT.TV. Good night, everyone.